Good evening, everyone, and welcome to LRG Podcast, where we are joined here by Survivor Calgary folks, doing an introduction on season 3, and we're learning more about the season. So, my name's Dustin from Live Reality Games. I'm here hosting, and I'm joined tonight by Cole. Cole, how are you this evening?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm really excited for our premiere tonight. I think it's going to be a fantastic season. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you have a premiere. So, walk us through, where do we see this show after this podcast?
So after this podcast, you will see the first 2 eliminations from the game. We did
Ooh.
a nice little double elim to start us off. And the first 2 eliminations will obviously join the Edge, which is returning. We have a new Edge Lord this year. Very excited about everything.
Flo's not coming back?
Flo, unfortunately, now lives in Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Very funny, very convenient with her name, but she wasn't able to make it back this year.
Well, I'm super excited to hear that she's down in Florida. Maybe she'll play in one of the U.S. games or join us for that. Yeah. Also joining us tonight is Malone. Malone, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Cole gave me a little introduction of you. You were a player this season. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And are we possibly joined by the winner? I don't really know, so we won't pick stuff. We'll find out all in due time, folks.
A secret I've been clinging on to for months now.
Well, I think the real secret here is your show in general. Last season, you aired Wipress. Wipress was, in my personal opinion, I watched a ton of these, one of my favorites of last season. It was dynamic gameplay. You had great editing, new challenges that I've never seen before, characters that schemed and canoodled, as they say, amazingly. It was super exciting to watch, and I'm very excited, Cole, for season 3. Bring us back. Like, where did this concept start, and how did your team get established?
So hilariously, this started as a birthday party idea for me. Of like, hey, let's just run like a fun little, like a few Survivor challenges for Cole's birthday. And then because I can't be stopped, it turned into, let's go into the woods for 3 days and we're going to film everyone and we're going to play real Survivor. And from there, it's turned into a multi-year affair where every year we go back out into the woods and play, just because it's fun to play and it's fun to relive those moments again once the editing is done and the season starts coming out.
It's so funny to see how many of these live games in general have started from like a get together over camping, someone's birthday party, or something like that. Now the word has spread, of course. Like, live reality games are all across the world. Like, I'm here in the U.S. We have a bunch of games taking place down in Australia. But Cole, where does your game take place?
Yeah, so it used to be called Survivor Wipress, as you said. Our season 1 and our season 2 was Survivor Wipress. We've now changed it to Survivor Calgary, just because it is the closest area, big city, to where Wipress is, which is basically an hour and a half in middle of nowhere, Canada, where we're allowed to camp for free and set up wherever we want and make sure to clean up and everything like that. But outside of that, there isn't really anything to stop us doing what we want to do out there.
That is so exciting. And it's so interesting to see how the word has spread. Malone, where did you hear about this? Are you friends with Cole outside of this game beforehand?
Yeah, so Cole and I met through mutual friends, some friends that went to school out in Halifax, and then I ended up visiting Calgary a few times over the course of a couple of years, and Cole actually was the one who got me back into Survivor in the first place as an adult. Like a lot of people I watched as a kid, and then sort of drifted away from it. And then one of my visits to Calgary, Cole was going on about this season 40 of Survivor, all winners coming back. And I'm like, 40? And from
Survivor Calgary will get there one day. Yeah.
And then from that moment on, it was like watching 4 seasons a week just to get through all of them. And like, yeah. So when I heard about season 1, it was basically, not long after the inception of the whole thing, and I was dying to get out there for season 1 and season 2, so it was a long time coming.
Glad to make it out for season 3, at least for sure. You bring up Survivor, and of course we're all Survivor fans here. You talked about 40. So I'm just curious, who was your favorite winner of that season? Like winners at war, who are you rooting for? Who's your favorite? Cole, it's
Well,
coming to you next. So
I'm ready.
it was interesting for me actually because maybe not the brightest move in the world. I actually started my rewatch with season 40, so I kind of spoiled almost every other season right off the bat, and I had no real preconceived notions going in other
well, that's
than
interesting. You could see like their new gameplay that came around though. So
like it was a whole new world, and that's what really hooked me was just how fast paced it was, and just all the new play styles, the advantages, the characters, whole new world to what I was used to. The only name I remembered from way back when was, of course, Boston Rob. So I was hardcore Boston Rob for Winners at War, and I still stick up for Boston Rob. I think he got to the point where he was so popular that people start to hate on him. I'll always be Boston Rob from day one.
I see a little smirk with Cole. Cole, are you a hater?
No, I like Boston Rob. I think he does get a lot of hate. I understand where that hate comes from, but I also think like he is such a fun player to watch and such a good narrator of a season that he makes just about any season he's on better, except maybe Redemption Island, but we'll forget that.
All right, so who are you rooting for season 40?
Season 40, I went into the season thinking, oh, hey, I really love Tony and Kagayan, but there's no shot he has to win it. So I was like quietly rooting for him, but I was also pulling for some of the old school players like Ethan, like Parvati, like these people who I really wanted to see go far. So in one way, I was really disappointed, and in another way, I was just thrilled and surprised and shocked of how the season went.
Well, there you got a mixed package. So
yeah, exactly.
Personally, just shouting out Sophie, my favorite player, like
Sophie.
all time, like
Absolutely.
robbed. Oh my gosh, such a good gameplay to get her out. But anyway, moving forward with gameplay from Whiteburst and Calgary intended. Shout out to your YouTube channel. Do you have a link, or where do they go to find it?
If you Google Survivor Calgary, I think we're the first thing to pop up. At least we are for me. I will link it here in our private chat if you want to throw it up.
And we'll put it right in the comments too. So anybody watching
really appreciate
can view in for that. And you have a premiere happening tonight, right?
Yeah, in approximately 38 minutes.
Oh, how
what the
exciting.
clock says, which is exciting. We've got a few. I'll turn my camera around briefly here so we can see a few of the people who have started coming in, waiting to watch it. And yeah, super excited.
You should have done one of those little, like, what's it called, though, TikToks to see, okay, this person arrives 5 minutes early, this person 7 minutes late. Yeah.
Had to worry about this, though, Dustin. So.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you being here for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So I'll tell the folks at home watching too, like, you folks are some of the hardest people to track down, because once I started Whiteburst, I was like, let's get an intro on this show. Let's get them out into this community as best I can. So I'm excited that you were able to finally find a comment, I think, on one of your YouTube videos. I was like, please contact me.
Those I do monitor. It took me a little while to get to it, I think. But yeah, we did eventually get to you. We do have a Twitter. We do have an Instagram. We don't have a Facebook. If people want to follow us there, certainly.
I think that's the cool thing to do anywhere. Like, all I know is Facebook. I have to, like, get out of that.
And honestly, in fairness, everyone has Facebook. Not everyone has Twitter. Not everyone has Instagram. So I get it.
So speaking of this upcoming season, Malone, you played in it. Don't give us any spoilers, of course, but what are we looking for? Blood, shed, tears, anything like that? Deception?
Yes. I think what kind of will end up setting this season apart from the previous seasons of Whiteburst was the just variety in players. A lot, I wouldn't say a lot, like a good portion of the previous seasons were people who were kind of surrounding the game, people who kind of knew Cole or were involved in one way in the first season, then came for the second season kind of thing. This season is strangers. Like, when I first got contacted for season 3, I was expecting like, okay, well, like, I bet you this person might play, this person might play. I'll probably know like 5 or 6 people. I knew like one person.
And you had met them like once before.
Yeah, and it's like very in passing. Like 40 people went to sushi, and this guy was there. Yeah, very much. So it's going to be a lot of. It's going to feel like natural Survivor. It's not going to be a lot of sort of not like pre-made alliances, but like people aren't going to gravitate to people they know because they don't know anyone. So it is really a lot of scrambling at the start to find your people, and it is very, very fast paced.
And not to spoil anything, but I do think that lack of familiarity around the cast does lead to a little bit more dynamic gameplay than we had in the previous seasons as well, which super, super exciting. We got some really, really fun plays and some really nice backstabs and very, very good stuff.
Yeah, even with like some of the people that know each other too, there's always that little past that is there to haunt them or to help them at the same time. And then it's always interesting to see how those relationships develop over the course of a game as well.
Definitely.
But it's exciting, like new people playing Survivor. Yes, please. Like, super excited.
Yeah, and a lot of the people are like more unfamiliar with Survivor, so we have some pretty dynamic and interesting gameplay going on where they're like, okay, I think this is the best thing to do, but I don't have any frame of reference, so let's go with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of a frame of reference, Cole, you said you have done a little bit of research about like different games in the community. Anything that stands out for you that you're watching or you like to watch?
I know it's cliche, but Survivor Maryland is so good. I recently tuned in Survivor Dearborn. They're I think just premiered. And was super, super interested in that.
I just before this watched episode 3, the start of it. So
nice, excellent. Survivor Boston is super well done. I think Survivor Melbourne super well done. I like to try and I'm the main person who edits the season and puts it all together. So getting some inspiration from these other live reality games is really nice to see.
Malone, have you dipped your foot into anything besides watching the traditional Survivor? Have you gone over to our side yet?
I have not really. Maryland is the only one I've even really given a glance. And of course, religiously watching the first 2 seasons of Wipress. That's pretty much my contact with the world of fan-made Survivor. So.
And honestly, I haven't even seen season 1, so I'm excited to when I have free time.
Season 1 is my season. Season 1 is my season, so I do okay. I'll put it that way.
Oh, and also great shirt by the way, Cole. Special little Survivor.
Yeah, you only get so many opportunities to wear a Survivor thing and a Christmas thing, and both at the same time is like. We're only 3 days removed from Christmas, so feels like
Malone, is that like a traditional buff you got going on too?
This is my Survivor Calgary buff.
Oh.
I've been wearing it all day. I went on a little mini pub crawl today through Halifax wearing my buff, trying to drum up some viewers.
Classic belligerence there,
yeah.
They didn't ask for your autograph yet? Clearly they don't know you, Malone, yet.
Wait till they see the show.
Malone, I won't spoil whether he wins, whether he makes it far. Certainly a power player. Certainly someone
I'm betting. So I'm
certainly someone who exudes quite a bit of influence over the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole, what's your background? Do you typically like edit videos or do like event organizing? Like
the first video I ever organized or I ever edited was Survivor Wiper Season 1, Episode 1. The first event I've ever organized was Survivor Wiper Season 1. But managed to make it work. So here we are 3 seasons later and we're still kicking. So.
Well, folks that are tuning in right now, we are joined here with the newest iteration of Survivor Wipress, now Survivor Calgary. We have season 3 coming out, premiering tonight. What do episodes look like going forward, Cole? What's your idea?
Yeah, so this premiere is a little bit we're doing it a little bit early because we have some people who are here for the holidays we want to try and get together and watch together with. The remainder of the episodes, we'll leak it now. The announcement is going to happen at the end of the episodes. The remainder of the episodes will be coming out weekly starting in March.
Oh.
So a little bit of a wait for those. We've got a good chunk of them done. but not all of them. And we wanted to get this one out there to drum up a little bit of buzz as the rest of the season comes out.
I'm excited. And then it gives people enough time to go back season 2, watch that. Season 1, go back and watch that.
I do think season 2 is quite a big jump from season 1 in terms of quality. And I think season 3 is honestly probably going to be a similar jump in quality compared to season 2. So
and then really I thought season 2 was super well done. So like no need to jump in quality, but if you are like
if you can, you might as well.
Here we go.
Yeah. Trying to make the best product we can. So yeah.
Malone, you said you watched season 2. Without spoiling anything, I personally was rooting for Moira like 100% of the time. Any fan favorites from you that you were rooting for?
Yeah, I had a few picks right off the bat. Even in season 2, me being, living in Halifax and being a periphery of the group, a lot of the players were strangers to me. So I had a few people right off the bat that I kind of picked. I think Lex was in my, or Kelsey was in my early draft pool. And I think later on, maybe slightly after midway through the season, Cole texted me and said, hey, like no spoilers, but like just based on how things are going so far, who do you think is going to win? And I said either Moira or Robin. And from that point on, Robin officially became my winner pick. So nice. I'll take the half break there.
I really thought Cam was going to do really well, or Eric, but I think of course like they were super strategic, so they had really big targets on them. So I think they got targeted. Perhaps
and I think they're both like pretty physical players too. So like the combo of you're super strategic and we can see that, and you can win a few individual immunity challenges. Okay, we need to get rid of you now.
So we're saying everyone watching this premiere here, watch the premiere, go back season 2, season 1, and get caught up with the backstory here on Survivor Calgary.
Yeah, I think we can talk a little bit about the backstory going into Survivor Brains versus Brawn versus Belligerents. In season 2 of Survivor Wiperous, we had a triple elimination right before the merge happened, where each tribe had to vote out one member from their tribe. And one person who was voted out was Keegan, who actually lost in fire. He's my twin brother, if he looks familiar when you watch the premiere later. The other person who went out was Connell, who is this big, gigantic personality who wanted to fight God. And the other person who went out was Conrad, who was this kind of behind-the-scenes strategist that almost did a few things on the edge, but didn't quite get there. And what we did was we brought them back as the captains for these 3 tribes this year. So Keegan is going to be captaining the Brains tribe, Connell is going to be captaining the Brawn tribe, and we have Conrad captaining Malone's tribe, the Belligerents tribe.
Belligerents, where did that term come up with?
Yeah, well, we have our kind of trifecta rather than outwit, outplay, outlast. We have outwit, outdrink, outlast. So we really wanted to represent that extra little bit there. In our game, we have something called the Edge, obviously related to the Edge of Extinction from previous games. When you have these sorts of camping games, you want to make sure everyone's included for the whole weekend. The Edge is a natural way of doing that. And we basically make the Edge a giant drinking game where people can earn their way back in through various means. And the Belligerents is kind of the epitome of that.
Mm-hmm. I was super excited, except for I was kind of jealous. I was like, hey, just vote me out. It's great. I'll play some drinking games, get back into the game. I was ready for it. So
definitely.
All right. Speaking of drinking, Cole, preference of drink. What do you got?
I'm usually a sour guy or like a seltzer guy. So my season 1, I was usually drinking Arizona hard iced teas because those are great, or some local sours from Calgary.
Mm-hmm. Malone, what do you have in your cup?
Ooh, I think I'm a cocktail guy. So
that's hard camping, though. I'll tell you that. It hits you fast.
Malone makes do, yeah.
Yeah. But I of course gotta shout out the Halifax beer. It's not Alexander Keith's like some people might think. It's Vitamin O Olin beer. It's so crushable. That's the beer I gotta go with for a hard 3 days in Wiperous. Yeah.
We have a viewer comment here. Kendall, drink of choice, cherry White Claw.
Yeah, no, Kendall is a friend of mine. Definitely, absolutely has called me out here. Cherry White Claw is absolutely a go-to as well. I don't know how that possibly slipped my mind.
Well, thank goodness, Kendall, for being here and setting the story straight. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Do we say Kendall playing a season coming up?
I hope so. Kendall. So every season, I'm usually the person who's also at the voting booth, filming all that stuff. And season 2, Kendall was that person for me the entire time. So that was pretty cool.
Good job, Kendall. Props to you. You did a great job.
Huge help on production for sure.
Cole or Malone? Malone, any thoughts about playing anything else besides this experience here? Would you play a game again?
1,000,000%. Yeah.
Cole, you ready to get back into the game too, besides the production side?
So this is again a little bit of a leak for the live reality games people. We haven't made it official yet, but it's likely that season 4 will be All Stars, and it's likely I will not be organizing it. Whatever, take from that whatever you will. But yeah.
Well, that's super exciting. I didn't know I was going to get so much knowledge today, folks. This is fun.
Pretty exciting. Very excited.
That's funny. I think actually I applied for one of your other games just so you could contact me too.
I did. I saw that. Yeah.
Did you?
I saw
Okay.
that after I contacted you through the comment. Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying everything to get a hold of you. I'm applying for your show. Please, somebody contact me.
Apply to Calgary. Yeah.
All right. Final little pitch here, Cole. Why are we tuning in season 3?
Season 3 is going to have honestly some pretty incredible gameplay. I'm really excited about the pre-merge of this game. We have a lot of crazy stuff that happens that really shakes up the later game. And then the later game, we see some really interesting interpersonal dynamics, some huge characters that I'm really excited for people to watch and react to. And just honestly, a great season. By far the best season we've had, at least filming. We'll see how it comes across on the finished product. I'm hopeful that it's very good.
You're just saying best season because Malone is here with us tonight.
Obviously, yeah, no, he's the one that makes it the best season. Yeah.
Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight and catching up with Survivor Calgary. Make sure you tune back into Survivor Wipers, catch up there. And then, of course, starting in about 20 minutes. So make sure you go grab a cherry white claw because we are starting the premiere pretty soon. And we'll see you there. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a ton. Bye.
Yep. Bye.